I am a former Sony employee. Ask me anything.
No, you have to go. Amma.
Emma. All right.
I'm kidding.
I'm gonna read his original post, and then we're gonna go through some of the top questions people asked him. For a number of years, I worked at Sony in close proximity to the Vita. Like many of my fellow islanders, I am and have been upset by Sony's aberrant treatment of the Vita. Now, when he says islanders, he could be talking that he's from Japan, or maybe Okinawa or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
I am here today to give some insight into what happened behind the scenes. Please note that for my own anonymity, I will not be answering questions related to my identity or the specifics of my employment. I hope you understand. It's been about 11 hours. Okay, so this is him.
This is definitely Ken Kutanagi.
You think so?
No, I'm totally kidding. That'd be insane.
It would be insane. All right. Um, all right, so let's look at some of these here. All right. Why is it that Sony dropped first party support? There were so many games on PS3 4 that could have gotten decent ports that would have really rocked. Example, Unreal 3 games, but the number of games that really show what it's capable of is quite small. The return on investment just wasn't there. Market penetration was weak. While they made an earnest effort to make games in the beginning, when those numbers didn't improve, they stopped investing. The PS3 outsold the Vita about 4-1, and the PS4 outsold the Vita about 5-1. As a Vita fan, it sucks, but Sony as a business was targeting areas where sales potential was higher and mostly left the Vita to third-party partners. They still made money on every sale, so they were largely happy with accepting it as passive income for most of the Vita's life cycle. So that's why. So that's his explanation of why we didn't see more first-party titles on the Vita. All right, the Vita firmware has been compromised now for almost 5 years. Is Sony planning to target users of modified firmware and ban them? Are they even capable of detecting modified firmware or unusual activity? They have good telemetry, specifically when you're playing a game that you don't have a license for. They also have telemetry to see the names of apps you're running. In other words, yes, they know who those people are. Whether they'll do anything is another question altogether. If they ban your account, you can create a new one. If they ban your console, you can buy a new one. They think of it like an endless game of whack-a-mole, and it's just not wise use of their resources. Never say never, though. Okay.
But I mean, they only know who you are if you go online. It's
Yeah.
not like they have like Sony ninjas at your house. Like, oh,
Nintendo seems to be the
you've hacked
company
the
that most
console.
aggressively goes after people.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, here's a good one. What was the reasoning behind having no user accessible storage in the original models and only 1 GB in later models? Why did they continue using proprietary memory cards after it became obvious how much of an obstacle that was for potential buyers? The 1 GB decision was largely because of patches, IRRC. The ability to download indie games and stuff was just a nice bonus. Proprietary memory cards were to deter hacks. It's hard to express just how much of a cultural impact the 2011 hack had on Sony's culture. And for those that don't remember that hack, that was when they hacked like tons of user accounts on the PS3. And wasn't there a class action lawsuit against Sony for that? I
Yes.
think I got like 40 cents or something.
IIRC means if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So there you have it. It was the hack made
The hack
Sony.
that shook the world.
Yeah, it shook Sony to make them more apprehensive of allowing people to use memory cards on the early Vita. Okay. Uh, What do you personally find to be the biggest failings of how Sony treated the Vita? What do you think they did well? I think they created a damn fine handheld, but they weirdly gimped some of its capabilities. At the console's launch, They only made some of its memory accessible and didn't open it up to devs until later in the life cycle. Yeah, that is very odd. They made memory cards proprietary out of hack fears. They never used the accessory ports that was on the OG Vita. I feel like they had a lack of vision for what the Vita could have been because they were laser focused on the disappointing sales numbers. By all means, it could have been a Switch 5 to 6 years ahead of its time, but they decided to more or less fail fast instead of double down.
Dude, so true. I
Yeah.
mean, the Vita practically is a Switch with its remote play ability.
Yeah. Yeah.
Granted, yeah, you're really stuck to incredible internet if you want to do remote play like that. And
Yeah.
then you also have to have two consoles on.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly like a Switch,
Yeah.
but it's practically a Switch. And even being able to play these PlayStation 4 games remotely on a PlayStation Vita, insane.
Yeah.
Amazing. And like I love my Vita. I was just playing Final Fantasy: The War of the Lions, Final Fantasy Tactics: The War of the Lions the other day because it just looks beautiful on my OLED screen. 'Cause I have the original Vita,
Yeah.
and it's such a travesty to see all the missed opportunities that console had. It
Yeah.
was such a powerhouse,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it was sleek and beautiful.
Yes.
It is, pardon.
Yeah.
I do kind of want to get another one just so I can have like a backup. Like I'm at the point where I'm getting more comfortable with what games I have
Mhm.
and thinking more about like I should get another console in order to have a backup for my current console. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Honestly, it's not a bad idea.
But also
The prices
the
are going
problem
up.
the prices are going up, but also the memory cards. Memory
Yeah.
cards are insane. Like honestly, I only have a 32 gig, and it's not enough for
Yeah.
the amount of games that I have. Like, and it is frustrating to think that because they made proprietary cards, they're just as expensive, or they're getting just as expensive as a console. The 64 gigabyte memory card is insane. I think it's going for over close to 200 now, I
Jeez.
think. So, and I need more memory cards in
Yeah.
order to save all that data. So it sucks. It really does. Because and again, the digital games. I've got quite a bit of digital games.
Yeah. Um,
Unfortunately.
so what I would say maybe in the future, if someone yeah, tomorrow, someone can make a third party uh, PS Vita memory card. That would be awesome because I literally I just bought a third party PS1 memory card from Castlemania Games.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
How large?
dude, it's like a gig or something, man.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to look into that. How much
Yeah.
did it cost?
Uh it was I forget.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, look into
Shoot.
it because
Okay. Because
yeah,
I was literally looking at memory cards last night in terms of my PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2.
yeah.
Because those jokers,
They
their
fill
memory
up like
cards
that,
get
man.
filled up so quick.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I've got more games than I have space to store.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a third party PS1 memory card on Castlevania Games. It sells out like that. I just pre-ordered one. It sold out like that day. So,
Oh, okay. Damn.
go to their site and
I'll
sign up for
subscribe.
the notifications.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, if we could get a third party version of the PS Vita memory card, that would be great and it would make collecting much easier.
Well, here's the question for you
Yeah.
is that do you need to hack your PlayStation 1 console in order to use that memory card?
No,
Or is it just plug and play?
it's
I mean,
plug
it
and play.
should. For these older consoles, it's not as uh what's the word, discerning.
Yeah,
But
it's plug and play.
there is actually a third party memory card for the PS Vita that uses an SD card and then like a fake housing a
Oh,
la
okay.
the current PlayStation Vita memory cards. The only issue is that you do need to hack your Vita.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So in order to get around that, that's what you need to do. And I don't want to do that just yet.
But here's the thing.
What's up?
If you're thinking about buying another PS Vita, you could make that Vita the one with the third party firmware with a huge memory card, and then you could keep your original Vita stock.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I want to do
yeah,
because the original Vita, it's the OLED, so the newer Vitas didn't use the OLEDs.
yeah. OLED
Um,
screens are beautiful.
they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
They're gorgeous.
So
Are you gonna get a Vita?
I it's over sitting over there. I haven't unpacked it yet. I just ordered one. Yeah,
Congrats.
and I
What,
ordered uh Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3,
okay.
which is getting rare to find honestly to get a copy.
Yes. I
Um
mean, honestly, all the Vita games are
yes.
getting rare.
Metal Gear Solid HD collection
Well done.
and Need for Speed Most Wanted.
So speaking of the Switch situation,
Uh-huh.
Metal Gear Solid HD Collection is honestly one of those things that is akin to how the Switch acts because of the transferring ability. It allowed you to go ahead and play your PlayStation Vita version of Metal Gear Solid
Hmm.
and then save it. And then you can go ahead and do transferring, which is transferring your memory that you saved onto Vita via the PlayStation Network to the cloud server, whatever.
Hmm.
And then you go ahead and you go home. You play Metal Gear Solid HD Collection on your PlayStation 3 on the console, and you can transfer in the memory that you saved from your Vita.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and switch however you want to play, whether remotely or at home. That was awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is awesome.
So I mean, that was akin to practically what the Switch is now, rather than minus the whole BS of owning the game, two copies of the same game.
Yes. Yeah.
But still, like, oh my God, that game so great. Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate though that the Vita version didn't bring Peace Walker. So
Yeah.
if I may make a suggestion, get Peace Walker while you can. It's going to be on the PlayStation Store,
Okay.
so you can play it on the Vita.
Yeah.
Either that or
So,
get Peace Walker HD for the Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, dude, there's so many games on my list right now. It's hard
I
to
know.
keep up.
Just keep adding more. I
Yeah.
mean, just be like myself and create notes
Yeah.
on your phone. But here's the thing, I uh, I do notes on my phone, and I write down what I want. Like in terms of Vita games, I don't have that many more to get,
Hmm.
but there's always something else that comes out of nowhere, and you're like, ooh, I want that.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like, is that in my list? No, but I want it.
Yeah. So, yeah, there you have it, everyone. The tragic news that Sony just didn't have a good vision for the Vita. They kind of squandered it. And
And in honesty, if I may,
yeah.
uh, Sony, every company has their ups and downs.
Yes.
Nintendo had their Wii U.
Yeah.
The Xbox had their Xbox One.
Yeah.
and Sony recently, in recent memory, the PS3 was kind of a failure as far as a response to PlayStation 2 and its success.
Yes.
PlayStation 4 has definitely lifted the console
Yeah.
maker
PlayStation
up.
4 was very successful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, looking forward, the question is, what will Sony do with the PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
And it is disheartening to hear how they treated the Vita
Yeah.
and what is going on with the store, the PlayStation 3, PlayStation PSP, PlayStation Vita store.
Yeah.
But here's hoping that PlayStation 5 doesn't follow in the suits of like PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita, and that they actually do have a good hold on what they want to do in the future. Because right now, and this is talking in a grander scheme,
Yeah.
Xbox is making the right moves.
Yes. Yeah. You're right. And even as much as um, even as much as Nintendo, like the Switch, is dominating the market right now,
Yes.
um, I would say that coming up very quickly is looking like Microsoft
Yeah.
because of the attention to detail they're giving to their older consoles and their older titles.
Game preservation,
Yes.
the developer
Yeah.
acquisition, and also player choice and
Game
the
Pass.
Game Pass,
Game
Ultimate Game
Pass.
Pass.
Yeah. So,
Like all these things are incredibly consumer friendly and focused.
yes. Yeah.
And granted, their first party titles haven't gotten there yet, but
No.
keep an eye out.
Yeah. Definitely keep an eye out.
Things will be changing shortly.
Yeah.
In the next few years, we'll be seeing a lot of hard-hitting games coming from Xbox. And guess what? It'll be only available on Xbox or via Game Pass. And Game Pass will be available wherever.
Yes. Yeah. So,
So it's kind of interesting. We're at the cusp of change.
yeah. You can see you can look you can see Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. You can look at them all and see how they all have very different visions right now. And uh, Nintendo's doing well because their console is just so well made.
Well, they've
And
carved out their own
yeah,
market.
they carved out their own market. So they're dominating their market. There's no one else to compete with them, right? Now, over
Sony
here,
could have.
Sony could have with the Vita, but as you saw there, they chose not to
Yeah.
because they didn't think in the long game. They didn't anticipate the long game. They just said, "Oh, the sales were bad. Okay, we're going to start, phasing this thing out sooner than later." Not the right way to do it. But if you take PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and you put them head to head right now, I mean, just from what I'm seeing now, right now, I mean, it seems like the Xbox is starting to kind of like slowly inch forward over PlayStation because of the fact that like they're just offering so many different options to their gamers.
Correct.
And if you are like us and you like collecting old games, man, to see that they're giving so much backwards compatibility is very enticing. It's very enticing. Now, I haven't bought an Xbox Series X yet because they're still kind of hard to get, and I don't want to pay for it yet if I don't think I'm going to use it. So I mostly do play PlayStation 5 and Switch, but um, I will say right now at the moment, my least played console is my PlayStation 5 out of my new ones. I'm playing the Switch more than the PlayStation 5 right now. Um, and I'm actually going back in time. I'm going to be playing my PS3 and my Vita more because they're trying to, they're shutting it down. So I want to relive it as long as I can. So, yeah, it's just, I'm torn now. Before I thought Sony had it in the bag, but I'm just not so sure anymore.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's kind of what I was getting at the previous segment in terms of, how many games have you purchased?
Yeah.
Like PlayStation 5 has been out since November,
Yeah.
and I only have one game,
Yeah.
and I've only played two PlayStation 5 exclusive games, Demon Souls and Astrobot's Playroom.
Hmm.
And predominantly I have used the PlayStation 5 as a PlayStation 4 player.
Yes.
It is fantastic at playing PlayStation 4 games.
It's great at playing PlayStation 4 games.
But in terms of PlayStation 5 games, there's nothing that really has caught my eye
Yeah.
in terms of new console exclusives.
Yeah.
The most recent thing I want to get Devil May Cry 5 eventually because it is a different version.
Yeah.
And I do want to buy the Neo collection. I think that looks really cool.
Yeah.
But I already own those two games. I've already played them to death.
Yes.
The next PlayStation 5 experience that is solely on PlayStation 5 is Returnal.
Returnal. Yeah.
Yeah, but am I going to buy that day one?
Yeah. Good question.
$70.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
So yeah, I mean, uh, that's it for the show today. I mean, we covered a lot of ground. Mostly, these are very thought provoking. The PlayStation topics are very thought provoking. So please share your opinion on what you think is going on at Sony. Like, I mean, are they just being too short sighted and only going for the bottom line? Um,
Are they
and
struggling from hubris?
yeah, struggling from
They,
hubris.
they did they did that with the PlayStation 3. I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah,
Is Jim Ryan being short-sighted by not caring about game preservation?
yeah. And
How do you feel about it?
there's definitely a big difference between Jim Ryan and who's
Phil
it?
Spencer?
Phil Spencer. Very big difference.
Yeah.
um, Phil Spencer seems like he's way more involved in the community.
Not just more involved in the community, but he's definitely looking forward. And I mean, as much as I dislike, just having all digital games,
Yeah,
in terms of a subscription, it is more palatable.
it is. It is. It is.
So we'll see what it is. But yeah, no, it is a large conversation, and there's so many ways to think about it. And I'd
Yeah.
like to hear what the viewers have to say about it.
Yeah.
So please comment below.
Yeah, please comment below. Let us know what you think about it, and if you have any like if you could sit down with Jim Ryan head to head, what would you tell him? All right.